The following program is rated TV MAL. It contains strong language and is intended only for mature audiences.
What's up? Hey everybody, it's me, it's the Appalachian American. It's Friday night and it is time for the War Room. Welcome. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. There's all kinds of stuff in the news about data centers. There's a toy merger with Hasbro and Mattel. There's something about GameStop going to eBay. There's just all kinds of stuff. I think there was a lot of stuff in Congress we're going to get to talking about passed, which is kind of interesting. I've been playing some video games, so yeah, and working really hard. But hey, guess what? I do have an Australian. I've got some other friends on the way. What's up, David?
Keeps claiming he has friends. Yeah, wait. They don't show. I said, yeah, we keep waiting on your friends.
Shout out to Dr. Daniels. He lost his puppy this week, and that's not cool. So
yeah,
shout out
Lape
to
is always and shout out to Mr. Lape who's always late.
Cheers to the pup.
Cheers to the pup.
But anywho, yeah. So how have you guys been? How have you been? How's your week been? Unfortunately, there's not going to be any coffee and gaming tomorrow, so we might just play some video games tonight.
Yeah, we can spend just a few minutes rounding up on everything you talked about, and you can fire up the old machine. The eBay.
Still people that
eBay.
I was like, what really in the world? I hear voices.
Yeah, I know, right? eBay was really funny. GameStop wanted to come up with ways to reinvent itself because it's facing the fact that retail is going to shrink even further.
Yeah.
Now, they've been trying to build their online business, but they can't compete with Amazon or eBay. So, not having $1 trillion in their pocket, they thought they'd make a bid on eBay.
Apparently GameStop submitted an unsolicited $55.5 billion proposal to acquire eBay.
And they laughed at it.
For $125 per share. The bold deal aiming to create a massive competitor to Amazon has swiftly and officially been rejected by eBay's board, who called the offer neither credible or attractive.
Yeah, it was way undervalued for long-term growth, and neither are they interested in becoming a Amazon competitor. They want to stay an auction site, even though most
Yeah.
of their
So apparently,
yeah,
eBay is only valued at 56 billion. GameStop
yeah,
offered them 55.5 billion.
yeah.
Huh. Well,
But
that's only like $3 in store credit.
yeah,
That
no,
was a GameStop joke.
yeah. But when you're buying a company, you got to pay out the board. That's pretty much a given. You know,
Yeah.
they want, otherwise they'll just sit there. They don't want to sell their stock. They don't want to do anything other than stay as they are. They did not want. I mean, if GameStop approached them 10 years ago, I think they would have jumped at it. But eBay's found its place and is no longer interested in becoming the biggest thing, right? It was the thing for a while, and Amazon just soared past them and never looked back, right? eBay was e-commerce, and for a while, eBay was big, but
Yeah.
eBay did not grow anything else. It had no interest in anything else. And has no interest in anything else. But 10 years ago, when they were desperate, yeah, they would have taken the offer. But it still is an underbid, right? Because don't forget, when you bid on a company, the price is going to go up.
Can
But
you
it's
hear that? I'm
over.
sorry.
No,
Okay.
no. eBay's look. Should eBay sell? It's not up to me, and it's not up to everyone else. It's not. It shouldn't be a debate. It shouldn't be a thing. It should be something that blows over very quickly. But GameStop, it's just one of those institutions that people didn't want to go away. But modern brick and mortar, what can you do? Everything is undermining, and when brick and mortar stores are gone, you watch all these low margin companies are going to become high margin companies.
Yeah. Hmm.
Remember,
I had sushi tonight for dinner, by the way, and it
oh,
was quite a
cool,
bit of sushi.
that's cool.
Yeah. Oh. Um. Let's see.
Well, what's going on with El Trumpo?
El Donato Trumpo.
Yeah,
I have not seen.
did some major boss moves in China.
Let's see. Hmm. I'm still reading, trying to figure out.
I mean,
Excuse me.
he's basically boxed Xi Jinping into a corner. If Xi Jinping attacks Taiwan, everyone is going to see him as nothing but a big heel and a bully you know, stepping on the little man. He has to accept the reality that Taiwan's going to sit there as a self-governing island. It's not Chinese. It's only colonized by Chinese. Its
Yeah.
indigenous people are the same indigenous people of Japan.
Let's see. Hey, did you know Gina Carano is going to be fighting Ronda Rousey tomorrow night on Netflix?
They're still wrong. They're still playing their tired old game, eh?
I'm interested in watching that.
That's fine. They're still
Apparently,
both. pretty
she
fair.
was asked. She was asked on the press tour for the fight uh, about her Disney lawsuit. Her response was, "I took heat for standing up for freedom of speech. I don't apologize one bit. We cannot let what has happened in this country happen again. We cannot let go of our freedom of speech if you don't like it, even if you don't like it." So good for her.
Yeah.
Um,
Again, forcing the Democrats to eat their own words, because wasn't it not long ago that Democrats were talking about free speech includes speech you don't like? But I guess it's only speech you don't like when they say it.
apparently, she just lost. Gina Carano's posted 6 hours ago. I'm just
Yeah.
scrolling my ex timeline. I haven't seen anything yet, but other than Gina Carano posted that apparently she's down to 141. Apparently, she's lost 100 pounds since September of 2024 when she agreed to fight. Dang, she's cut weight.
They all gotta.
Dang.
Like I said, they're starting to get on in time. They're still fit, but I mean, some of these younger women will give them a round for, give them a tear around. But again, it's sports entertainment. It's not sport. There's a difference. Hey, but everybody's screaming at Trump saying he's soft on Taiwan. No, he's forcing the Chinese into a corner where if they do anything to Taiwan, they look like a big, they look like an asshole, basically. He's got a lot of domestic problems. He needs this US deal. If you don't understand how big the Boeing deal is, China just spent the last 12 years trying to develop the C919. Okay, it was meant to be the world's largest commercial plane. It has cracks. Its engines can't even last 1,000 hours. Its fuel consumption is terrible.
What is this? I'm sorry, I missed it.
China tried to develop a replacement for the Boeing, right?
Oh, wow.
And it's a miserable failure. China's just lost $1 billion in corporate, like Apple's Foxconn, right? Remember, Apple shut 3 of its 4 factories in China. It's just lost. It's only been able to recover 213 billion out of the assets from the Evergrande and several other major bankruptcies. Its foreign exchange is depleted by 50%, having to pay off huge taxes for all the Timu and all its back taxes from a lot of Chinese companies in the United States that have been over tariffs.
Yeah.
And Trump is basically, he's been diplomatic, and now they're criticizing him for being soft. It's like the politics of constant criticism, where nothing he does will get the praise it deserves. Now, China's offered to take the uranium because there aren't that many countries in the world that can dig deep mines. And we all know the Chinese made those underground caverns for Iran in the first place.
Yeah.
And that's why Trump pointed out there's only 2 countries in the world that can retrieve it, right? If they could retrieve it, it means, well, the United States didn't build those deep caverns. Iran sent earth excavators. You saw those earth excavators, right? Everybody was laughing. Those earth excavators could not dig through granite.
That's funny.
They couldn't even lift one of the
Oh.
granite pieces. This
Lape's
rock
been
is...
trying to get in here. Sorry, Lape.
Oh, Lape, sorry, man. I didn't...
Let's see. Can I accept him? Nope. I'm going to refresh. Hold on.
Yeah, so that earth-moving equipment was a joke. Now, Iran allegedly claims that 3 of the 4 bombs did not go off. That's been disproven. But remember, this is Iran here we're talking about. They claim to have sunk an aircraft carrier. Baghdad Bob. Hey, Baghdad Bob is back. He's got a new job as their Iranian spokesperson.
Lape.
Hey, Lape.
Green.
You're green. Dabba dee dabba doo.
He wants you to feel nauseous.
Hey, Lape, what's been going on this week? Anything interesting you've heard?
About what?
About
Anything?
Anything you want to talk about?
Well, then the CIA just captured a bunch of documents out of Tulsi Gabbard's office or something.
Hey, remember those? Yes. Hey, remember those biolabs in Ukraine that everybody denied? Tulsi Gabbard's been investigating them. 40 biolabs she found, and suddenly the CIA decided, oh no, she has national security documents. You can't have them. They're above your classification.
Oh, what's her name? Oh, what is her name? I can picture her. She testified before Congress that we had labs there when Obama was president.
Yeah.
She's the one running the war under Biden, basically.
Yeah.
Shoot. I'll have to look that up.
Yeah. They claim they weren't nefarious. Yet, if you look up the labs and what they were researching, and then look into what they were researching, you do know the hantavirus, the day before the hantavirus was announced on a cruise ship, China announced they had a vaccine for the hantavirus.
Gloria Nuland.
Yeah, Nuland.
No, Victoria Nuland. Victoria Nuland.
Yeah, Victoria Nuland, yeah.
2022.
And all the Democrats turn around and say, yeah, but she's a Bush appointee. It's like, yeah, so what?
And I tell you what, you look at pictures of her younger, and then what you can tell, like the moment she sold to the machine, and she just,
Who?
Victoria Nuland. She got fatter and
yeah.
ugly. She was cute when she was younger, and then she sold her soul.
It's probably not even her.
Oh, that's another thing I've been seeing all around Facebook that people are thinking that Massey got replaced.
Wonder why.
Just like people think Fetterman's a replacement.
Well, Fetterman might actually be.
Yeah, Fetterman. Who knew the cure for liberalism was a stroke?
He's the only Democrat talking any sense most of the time. Yeah. Oh, my goodness. These dogs are driving me nuts. All right. My wife's up there in JMU. So.
Oh, really?
The nephew's graduated today.
Sweet.
See, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, I was at VMI working and up near there, and they had a flyover in preparation for the graduation ceremony tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, it rattled the building I was in.
What'd they have fly over? Do you know?
I don't know. I didn't get to see it. I just heard it.
Felt it?
It was gnarly. Yeah, I felt it. I wish I could have seen it. I was like, please fly by. We ran outside. I was like, please fly by again. But they didn't. So what did they find in Tulsi Gabbard's office?
Well, these were JFK documents that they were like, oh, no, those aren't the ones we were supposed to give you.
Oh.
They gave her the file on Ukraine, and she opened it, and she used a national security clearance to access the archives, because now she has all the numbers, because that's what those files are, right? They come over with a file, It's just a bunch of codes. They type it into the computer, and it spits out the data. And with big warnings saying, if you photocopy this, you're a dead person.
Well, it was JFK and MK
Yeah.
Ultra documents.
Yeah, MK Ultra.
Mm.
MK Ultra experiments were apparently offshored, not shut down. What a shock, right?
Well, yeah, that's
Anybody
what we did with
surprised?
the biolab, right? It was
Yeah.
can't do it in North Carolina, let's do it in China. And that was even in the news. Oh my gosh. What are you whining
Yeah.
about?
Yeah, Fauci. Oh, it's illegal to do it in America. Hey, we'll do it in China. It's not illegal there.
See, there. It's like this camera's weird. Sometimes I'm pink and sometimes I'm red. So if I do this with
Well,
hand,
it's the
pink again.
background. The background is of the stream is green.
I know that, but that doesn't. Before I joined, I was green.
Hold up. Let's see if I can. I'm gonna change something.
See, now I'm red. Still red.
All right.
And I'm green again.
Oh wow. Okay, it didn't change.
Yeah,
I thought
it's
it would
the camera.
change.
Yeah, it was probably $20.
Well, whatever. At least it works.
More or less. Well, it'd probably help if I had real lights in here too. It wasn't so dark.
Yeah.
And I'm drinking. This is a black IPA, not a stout.
Nice.
And it is fizzy as all get out. Which I don't understand, because the brewery's in Asheville, so I wouldn't expect it to have a problem with the altitude.
Hmm. I don't know.
Because they're around here. They're a little bit lower than I am, but not much.
China never said anything about Trump's speech. Remember Trump's speech before he went over there? Saying how China's got big problems. They've had lots of deaths.
So how was that trip over already? They're basically 1 day?
Only 2 days.
What happened?
He leaves.
Apparently nothing good, because the stock market took a nosedive today.
Dang.
Because everybody's having a hissy fit over fuel prices. They're expecting Trump to go over there and to give in to the blackmail from Iran. I don't know why Europe wants America to give in to Iran's blackmail and let them control the Strait of Hormuz.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I think Xi was like, give us Taiwan. And
yeah, and he said, yeah, over your dead body.
Well,
You really want to feel that? What you really want to feel that bunker buster, don't you, Xi?
Give him the Moab.
Hit him in the biolabs.
there you go. Oh.
No, but see, the biolab thing has backfired both on Ukraine and China. China's lost a lot of people to biolabs, and Ukraine's population is suffering something horrendously, and they're in decline. Seems any country that gets involved in these biolab research projects turns to shit.
So apparently, the Supreme Court denied Virginia's attempt to get the court decision tossed out. So the U.S. Supreme Court denied Virginia's attempt to get the Virginia State Supreme Court decision tossed out. Controversial election map overturning. The state's Democrat leaders had redrawn congressional maps, giving their party a 10 out of 11 seats. So,
yeah.
Thank goodness.
Protecting their democracy.
Yeah. Ron DeSantis had ghetto Representative Angie Nixon arrested after she did an illegal sit-in at his office because of the 26 Florida House map adds 4 GOP seats. She melted down, FAFO'd, and Florida's the best. Santa plays no game. Okay. That's pretty funny.
Well, I think DeSantis is hoping that he'll find a suitable replacement and then come back because Florida's got an interesting rule. You can run for as long as you want, but you can't serve more than 2 consecutive terms. That's what happened to Jeb Bush, right? After 2 terms, he had to step down.
I don't know.
Oh, and when he tried to come back, nobody wanted him. Yeah.
Well, that's a good. Oh, you only could do 2 consecutive, but you can come back.
Yeah. But when Jed Bush tried to come back, they had DeSantis, and no one wanted Jed. And DeSantis is now worried the same thing will happen to him. But he's got to find a Senate replacement, or the Republicans won't win. He's got to find another Floridian who stands up for Florida first, because that's the only reason he got elected, right? He doesn't want a
Probably.
party. No, they want someone who's not a party faithful, who's given to the national body. Because Florida's always given the
please clap. Please clap. Please clap.
Please clap.
Please clap.
Oh, what do you got?
That's so funny. That was hilarious when he said that. I thought I was gonna die. Jeb. Oh, Jeb Bush. Please clap. Please clap for that. Please clap.
Yeah, he died on the Florida stage, then he died on the national stage. Yeah.
Oh, Trump, it was terrible.
Yeah, you're weak, Jed. You're weak.
Always was.
Yeah. Oh, no. People said that he gave a strong speech that got him elected. It's just after he got elected. I'm not sure. Does the job take the toll, or he just wasn't up for the task?
I don't know. I don't know. Oh, hey, so apparently in Fayetteville they've been having an issue with people drawing swastikas all over the place. Well, come to find out it was a black male.
Yeah, what a shock.
Yeah. Either that or someone wearing a funny hat.
It was the SPLC. The SPLC. Every time.
The Southern Poverty Law Center out there running around doing it too.
Yeah.
Minigun go Bert.
Oh.
$5,000 to shoot this minigun? That's ridiculous.
That's a lot of bullets.
Yeah.
And that's the cheap minigun. That's probably only a 5.45.
Probably. I don't know. It was small. Oh, my Lanta. So I weed eated today, and about my arms are so sore.
So
let's see. I don't know anything else. I know there was another. So last week there was an arrest. There was a raid on a Virginia, she was something with the Virginia Senate. Her office got raided, but I don't know anything that ever came of that. I don't think anybody else still does. Labe, we were talking earlier. Gina Carano fights Ronda Rousey tomorrow night.
Yeah, I heard about that. For some reason, I thought it had already happened. But
it's on Netflix.
Okay, 9 days
Gina
ago.
Gina Carano's what, 40? She finally got back into shape, I guess.
She did. Yeah. She dropped 100 pounds.
Yeah.
Wow.
She's 141.7, I think.
Holy cow.
141.4.
She was 240 pounds?
Yeah.
Wow.
She said she dropped 100 pounds.
She needs to keep it off. That's not healthy.
Well, no.
I got the names for you.
She's like 5'6", right?
I don't know. Names for what?
Virginia Senator.
Oh, yeah.
She was raided over kickbacks from a marijuana dispensary.
That's right. So across the street from her office was the dispensary, and so they raided both. They raided both places.
Apparently, there was irregularities in the granting of the license. Someone complained. The FBI investigated, and they believe they have enough prima facie evidence. But it's now before a judge whether or not they can proceed, whether they have sufficient evidence to charge her. Basically, she's been peddling influence in office for some time, but it's confined to this one case in which this marijuana dispensary got its license, and on her recommendation, and only on her recommendation, no other licensee was proposed, licensee was considered, and she has received money from them before and after the license granted.
Gotcha.
That's just a Tuesday, is it, for a Democrat?
Yeah. But you got to remember, Portland, this has happened in Portland and other states, and nothing happens, right? Goes before a judge, they close the hearing, lots of gavels get banged, probably the judge gets a kickback, some taxes get paid, and that's it. Nothing ever happens. No one goes to jail.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
mate?
There's a few fees. Yeah, a few fees are collected.
Yeah. A few bribes paid. People who didn't get their cut get wheezy. That's what it is, right? The people who didn't get their cut, the lawyers and judges, right?
Yeah. But they get the headline, and the public forgets, and they go away, and they go on.
And this happened in Portland. This happened in Denver. Remember the Denver dispensary? License granted to a former policeman, a sheriff, whatever. So the guy who raided all these marijuana places suddenly gets to sell the marijuana, and they all have to sell it to him at a set rate. Yeah. Instant millionaire, right? And it's like, yeah, it's all about the healthcare, right?
Yeah. Well, it's like, and I know Ohio was one of these, but man, it was 20 some odd years ago when all these states sued these tobacco companies for, all this billions of dollars because of the supposed drain it was on the healthcare systems of the states. And the states blew through that money in 2 years.
And that was somehow none of it actually made its way to patient care.
Correct. Yeah, what a boondoggle that was. It's a legal product, but we're gonna.
How many hospitals did California build with that money and now shut down, or none of them operated at full capacity ever? Huge stuffed hospitals with very few patients. Somebody who did it? ABC. That was back when ABC, before Disney, I think, or when Disney didn't control ABC. But ABC did a huge exposure 20 years ago on California. What happened? That's why media is not allowed to be independent, right? They start doing journalism.
Nothing happened. So.
Yeah. Nothing good happened, you mean?
Yeah. Well, that's true. Something did happen. Well, and again, that comes out. The
People
mom, pa, normie, like, oh my goodness, I can't believe that. What's that? And then the next thing happens, right? They don't have the energy to realize it's going to take 12 years and hundreds of court cases to fix it. So. Because
so many of them go, but Republicans. And we're sitting here saying, yeah, if you've got dirt on Republicans, throw them in the same prison as the Democrats.
Yeah.
But all we get is the but Republican argument.
And quite often the Republican side of it, they're not the corrupt ones, but because they got called in and they gave two slightly different answers to different questions, they'll get, a process crime. It's like all that stuff that happened. I mean, Oliver North, I think, was the only one that had anything to do with Iran-Contra that was got punished. But I remember under Clinton, and even in the early 2000s, even under
Clinton
Obama, they're always
pardonably.
going after their political opponents, and you get, so and so, arraigned for something. Get the headline they want, and then there's a conviction later, but the conviction's over a process crime because, like you
Yes,
said, they
Oliver
come to
North.
this. But what the public thinks is, oh, that Republican went to prison for espionage or something, and it's
No,
never the
No,
case.
didn't Oliver North go to jail for lying to Congress, even though he had to lie to Congress because it was a national security?
Yeah, I don't know what he went to.
I do not care that. I know the Democrats got into power and they shut off the funding for the Contras. The Reagan.
You think they would have approved it?
Yeah.
Well, the Contras weren't. Oh, they weren't the communists. Okay.
Yeah, they weren't the communists. They were fighting the communists, but the Democrats cut them off because they're allegedly involved in the drug trade.
Well, and they're communists.
Yeah, they're not communists. Yeah. So Reagan did a deal because the CIA wanted access into Iran, and the only way they could do that was the sale of aircraft parts.
You go out. Apparently, I got to let the dogs out again.
Okay.
Such is my life.
We'll try.
It's a complicated world. You can't always get your way, but apparently Democrats think, we just get our way. All we have to do is just sit there and hold our breath, and we'll get our way all the time, every time. And if you don't, we'll call you names. Like we'll act like toddlers.
Yeah.
And then every time you point it out, they bring up the but Republican arguments. Yes, I know there are many Republicans who call you. Yeah, just because Republicans. Yeah, and just because Republicans call you mean names doesn't give you the right to be mean back. Because most of them are only calling you mean names because they got sick and tired of you constantly being in your face, calling them Nazis, and then turning around and saying free speech. So when we call you names, you should turn around and say, okay, free speech. Instead, no, you can't say that. That's hate speech. So, you're hypocrites. And that's why they do it, right? That's why a lot of people troll Democrats, call them some very mean, nasty words that they get away with saying on YouTube, but we can't, right? And then they go on, but you made fun of, what's his name, George Floyd's death. No, we told the truth about George Floyd's death. That's the difference. But there's no getting through. I mean, even Fetterman is fed up.
Yeah.
But he said he's not crossing the floor. He's only said, and he's doing the right thing, even if it goes against the party. Now, he also said he can't run for president. I don't know if that's true or not. Biden got away with it.
Yeah.
And he was far worse than Fetterman for... he had 3 aneurysms. That should have been a disqualifier.
Yeah.
Could you imagine that? Taking 3 aneurysms off Biden's medical report, even though everyone knows about it, and still let him run for president, even though he's not qualified on medical grounds. Yes, it so happened he did not die in office, allegedly, and was not replaced by 6 different stand-ins, allegedly, even though one was taller than Trump. And then they said, no, Trump was walking on the lower half of the balcony. Yeah, there's the lower half of the balcony. But the White House balcony is tilted or something. Yeah. Biden's changed height, weight, hair.
Yeah.
Now, I get it. There have been instances where it's legal to have presidential stand-ins, but those are for the meet and greets, the waves. They're not for, actual public, it's like we have a stand-in who leaves, via the front, the front to wave while the real Biden goes out the back door. That's legal. That's perfectly normal. Every president's done this, allegedly. Even Reagan's stand-in, had to. It's funny, Bush's stand-in was named George Bush.
No way.
Yeah, it was
That's
his.
kinda funny.
It was one of his distant cousins or something. Used to but they're not allowed to talk about it, But what little we learn about presidential stand-ins is there's a lot of rules and procedures on how they are used, because apparently the presidential stand-in was abused by Roosevelt. What a shock! A Democrat abusing privilege? No way. But President Roosevelt used to use his stand-in to sit in the office so he could go meet his mistress. Roosevelt could walk, don't you?
No.
He was not paralyzed. He did that to win the election the third time.
Really?
Yeah. A Democrat lying about disability? Never!
That's kind of funny.
But the irony is, in his fourth term, he did get paralyzed from the waist down. And his wife used to tease him about it. And also, she was illegally running the country. What? A president's wife illegally running the country?
What?
No way, Dr. Jill. Really? Oh, what an irony. He was caught in his own lie and hung on his own petard. He got paralyzed and died a year later. Oh, there were some terrible things that presidents have done. But I think someone got it right. The last president to stand up to the banks was Andrew Jackson. And this is, yes, I get why people are upset with Trump over that. Trump should have stood up to the banks. He did, but they also changed the laws multiple times. It's not like back in Andrew Jackson's day when the president back then had way more power. You look at Jefferson. If he snapped his fingers, Congress said, yes, sir. Those were the days, eh? President, no kings. Yeah, right. But they were Democrats, so, it's privilege. No, it was our decision, honest. We're not afraid of you, Mr. Jefferson. What was that? We're afraid of you, Mr. Jefferson. Yeah. But, geez, even in the early days, there was a lot of things that, both good and bad, that politicians can't do today.
Oh, yeah.
Especially executive orders. They are subject to, but again, it comes down to the abuse of power by Roosevelt, why we have term limits and should have more term limits across the board. The lies that politicians told, I think, heck, Roosevelt would have been exposed in a modern era, in the era of modern. Could you imagine? Grant would have been exposed as a drunk. Roosevelt, all of Roosevelt's secrets would have been exposed. People would have been following him around. So you can walk, Mr. President. When did this happen, Mr. President? Come on. And then all the mockery, but yeah, the things that are also exposed that 100 years later that people should have known.
Oh,
Okay?
yeah. Nobody knew about that kind of stuff.
No, but people didn't know Roosevelt planned World War II with the Russians. They were going to actually go to war against Japan and China. Even though Russia And Russia, America, and Japan started the war in China in 1924, but then America and Russia underwent a separation from Japan. They wanted them to end the war. Things were getting out of command. It was going beyond defense of Manchuria. Russia didn't want to give up its territories either. Compromises were made, but then the Japanese wouldn't stop. They'd seized Shanghai. And then America decided to start selling arms to, even though Japan was our ally, America started selling arms to the communist Chinese and Chiang Kai-shek. And oh my God, that country was so torn apart. But Japan, I don't know. If they had stopped, I suppose, I don't know what would have happened. Because Roosevelt was planning a war against them already as early as 36 when he came into office. Well, actually before that, when he was Secretary of the Navy. But now modern Democrats claim this is all part of natural progress, that we plan war against everyone. That's actually something that came after World War II. Because you didn't have immediate war plans for the liberation of Europe, because after you liberated Europe, you didn't expect to. Patton said, we're going to have to do it again, and or actually, this wasn't exactly what he said, but he gave a scathing assessment of Roosevelt and the Democrats, and the next day he had a car accident. You do the math. After they changed his driver and everything, yeah. But he also spoke out against the way they were treating Nazi scientists as commodities to be horse traded and then pretty much enslaved under the threat. And then this Alien Technology Security Act, where German scientists were robbed of their inventions because they were German, and these inventions were given to other people. He was against that. But when you build up so many secrets and lies, and you have an entire institution dedicated to protecting those lies, like the CIA, you'll end up having incidences where the CIA comes and takes back documents they gave because they realized they gave the real ones, not the phony ones, right? Tulsi Gabbard.
Yeah. Hey, I've heard a lot of stuff about data centers coming in. What's the deal with that?
Okay. AI started a whole rush of investors wanting to build data centers. And some of these ones were really big, supposedly powering the next, the AI economy. And so they planned on these data centers.
Yeah.
And then someone started doing the math, and the math don't work. And so about half of them quietly withdrew, but the rest of them are trying to figure out, geez, we're not getting enough AI adoption,
Gotcha.
But people haven't got $500-600 to spend on AI. Well, those who do, but for multi-million-dollar data centers, you can't have a handful of content creators, or even 1,000 companies making ads. You need millions of customers, and you ain't getting them.
Yeah.
The scale of AI, it has to be a $5 item. It has to be, Netflix. You look at Netflix. When Netflix went past $14.95, boom, they started losing people.
Oh, yeah, they did.
When Disney started crashing out at $9.95, people are not going to trade your $75 cable for $195 streaming and then $500 AI. No. ChatGDP is panicking because they can't monetize enough of ChatGDP. Grok seems to be the only AI where at least sort of monetized at a more reasonable price, but that's because Elon isn't expecting a $1 billion payday because he's already got billions.
Yeah.
Now, the problem is the old formula used to be businesses were programmed in a way that it would double the wealth every 20 years, right? But some businesses really took off in the boom period and people's wealth shot up, sometimes in some cases, like Apple, 1,000-fold, right? Apple investment. You made an investment in Apple in 1979 when Apple first started, right? $1,000 would be $1 billion, right? If you kept up $1,000 in investment every month, you would have been a billionaire. Apple is one of the biggest companies in the world, sort of. It's a huge conglomerate.
Yeah.
But no one can build conglomerates like that, right? China's tried. India's trying. Heck, even Brazil. But Brazil keeps tearing itself apart. So every time someone starts getting successful in Brazil, there's a coup or a revolution or a change of government that collapses the economy. That's why it's the same sad story for all of South America, I think. Whereas Japan, well, Japan was just too small, right? If Japan had just, from the 30s, just realized that its economy couldn't grow outside Japan without outside partnerships.
Yeah.
And, well, they're carrying, don't forget, they carried their enmity for the Koreans and the Chinese for so long, that dates back centuries. It's like the Middle East. The Middle East can't seem to get past it's the Wadi incident or something where, a bunch of tribes met in, used to travel around Saudi Arabia trading. Someone peed in a Wadi, or, what we would call an oasis. And since then, the tribes have been fighting over control of the water. Same in Iran. Most people don't know this. The faction, what's going on in Iran, the IRGC, was created by the Ayatollah to unite all the factions to stop them fighting over water. Because don't forget, they're the largest producer of, their largest agricultural product is nuts. And they consume a lot of water.
I didn't know that.
Well, the water's been draining their wadis, and now they've been draining the underground reservoirs and dams to keep up their Iran also shares the Caspian Sea trade on caviar, but because inflation has turned caviar from a very expensive product into, nothing, really. You can't buy a tin of caviar today for $5. It's nothing. It's no longer special. People, it's still a indulgent, but rich people don't. $5 is $5. It's nothing. It's not a valuable product like it used to be, but it's still a huge. I
always wanted to try it. I've never tried that.
It's salty.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's salty. Doesn't have any real taste to it. It's something you put on, say, an egg or with ham, just to give it that extra spicy flavor. It enhances other foods. That's why they put it on egg or bacon.
Nice.
yeah, it's a flavor enhancer, really.
Sweet.
But Iran just could not let things alone. They've always had a faction that's always wanted the rule, and whenever one faction gets into power, all the other factions eventually tear it down. That's what happened with the royal family. That's what that's what happened with the prime minister before that. That's what's happened with all the way back to Xerxes. Without a strong unifying force, Iran tells itself apart. That's why Trump doesn't want to go in, because the Kurds didn't used to always be known as the Kurds. Okay, they've had many names over the years, but they're the Kurds, the Turks, Turkmeds, the Persians, and they're split into many factions: the North and the South, the East and the West, and the mountaineers, the mountainous peoples of Iran have never gotten along unless there's an outside threat, and then they get along just dandy. They can get along, but only when they have a threat, or any of them act up. None of the other factions can move because a strong national army will step in. But right now, they have a very weak army that won't stand up to any of the factions. And that's why Trump can't go in, because the Kurds, will turn against them like they did in Iraq. Well, that's the major fear, right? We helped the Kurds, but as soon as we went into Iraq, the Kurds turned around and started defending Saddam. It's like, what? The same with the Shia. The Shia were against Saddam until we invaded,
Yeah. Let's see. Is there anything else that we're missing talking about? I did a lot of weed eating today, and my back and shoulders and stuff are killing me. And I was thinking about rolling on out, because we're not doing coffee and gaming. I'm doing a big multi-family yard sale tomorrow, and I've got to be down there setting up before coffee and gaming would start. So
yeah,
we're not going to be doing anything. And
I'm just checking the news very quickly.
Yeah, man.
And it's nothing but where Trump today.
That's honestly, man, it's been like that for so long.
It's exhausting, and a lot of these where Trump stories are not new.
Yeah. So, yeah, I've been wanting to do, there's Leap. I've been wanting to do, like more coffee and gaming stuff, but just with time and everything. So I'm guessing, I was telling them, Leap, I've been weed eating all day and doing yard work, and my back and shoulders are killing me. So I'm thinking about rolling.
All right. No, that's fine.
Anything you want to share or add tonight? I don't want to.
No, I think we started covering the things that I knew about, and
I've been buried up to my eyeballs with work this week, and for once, I haven't been able to listen to much news. We briefly touched on Tulsi Gabbard's office. We circled back on that lady from Virginia that was getting kickbacks for her dispensary.
Yep.
But realistically, what's up, David?
You mean dispensary licenses? Yeah.
Yeah.
Kickback for
licenses. Well, so anyway, there's just not much going on except the reeing and gnashing of teeth for liberals, just for everything.
Yeah.
And we can repeat last week's show and the show before that, the show before that.
It really is, man. It really is. Like, honestly, I've been thinking about, like, what are we going to, like, we need to get into. I was hoping Dr. Coffin was going to be here because there was so much stuff going on with the quartering drama and everything that I don't know anything about. I can't figure it out.
There's more drama? Jeez.
Yeah, apparently Chrissy Mayer ignored her chats, and I don't know.
She works for him, so she ignored all the negative chat, and they blew up against her. Now, according to Legal Mindset, there's a lawsuit, but I've not heard anything more about it. Dr. Coffernels apparently seems to know all about the drama.
Yeah, he's been following it. pretty good, and he's very knowledgeable about it. So
I heard, and I don't know if it's true or not, but when they were doing the list of top political channels, the quartering came in at like 45, I think, and Hassan Piker came in at 47. And Asmund Gold came in twice. His clip channel, which is technically run by someone else, is actually up in the top 10, and Asmund Gold's like behind Tucker Carlson. Like, wow.
Gotcha.
That's pretty wild.
Now, some of that's because Tucker Carlson has fallen off, and Candace Owens, I don't even think made the list this time. I think she's fallen off. There's a lot of YouTubers have fallen off recently. Now, I think we talked about this last week, didn't we? About the bots being cut off, and I think Late said Doug said that's the YouTube bots cut off. I don't know. But as far as I know, a YouTube employee did come out and say that there's just way more channels than ever before. That the YouTube audience is spreading out thinner.
Yeah, I just can't follow it. Like, I don't understand. I get that the quartering is perverted and apparently false flagging channels, but I don't understand why it's such a drug out thing. Like,
because they're finally sick of his stuff and they want to. They've said it out loud. They want to bring him down.
Gotcha.
They want to drive him off the platform. They all used to be friends with each other, and so now they're feeling betrayed.
Yeah,
because they didn't know this about him. They, as far as I'm concerned, it's his private life. She should have never brought it up. Or, what he does. But this is another Jack Murphy moment where someone turns out to be not who they say they are, and they just basically decided, like sharks in a tank, they're going to feed like a frenzy.
Dang! Breaking news. Well, this was yesterday. $47 billion walked out of New York. New York lost 892 companies and $47 billion in income.
They just lost the largest private financial trust.
That's crazy.
Because they were going to tax second homes at twice the rate. And as you know, one of the biggest things private trusts invest in these days is rental properties. So if they're going to pay twice the tax on rental property, they sold them, all of them, and left.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because the state would not intervene. They said, if the state intervened, we wouldn't have sold our properties and left. Right? But they wouldn't. They would not. The courts wouldn't take the case. This is punishment for being wealthy. Right? This is beyond. This is taxation without representation arguments. This is fundamental taxation. You can't just walk up to someone and say, you're our opposition, we're going to tax you more. We're going to tax you more because we don't like you. We're going to tax you more because you're white. And that's what Mondami ran on. And that's what Obama ran on. This hatred of white people. And again, you're all warned not to let minorities become a majority in any region. You're told, look at Mexico. Mexico for years. That's why they keep getting rid of people. It's what Mexico does. Every time they get a refugee, they kick them to America because they're sick of them.
Yeah. Well, all right, guys. I'm going to jump out of here. I'm fading fast. So, yeah.
I hope you're feeling better. And,
I appreciate it, man. I'm getting old, I guess.
Yeah.
I feel it in my back, man. I was bent over weed eating for like 3 hours today.
Yeah.
Or a couple hours. So it felt like forever. But
so I can do it for about an hour, and then it takes me 3 weeks to recover.
Yeah. So like I said, no coffee and gaming tomorrow. Got a yard sale going on. So I'm gonna hit the hay because I gotta be up early. So buy David's book.
Everyone.
Check out Lape's channel. You guys have a great night. Take care, and we'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.
Goodbye. Bye-bye.
Good day, sir.
Later, dudes.
What up?
Good night, Jim Bob.
Hell, I got to go.
Peace out.
Burn in hell, New World Order. Fuck you. Fuck you, New World Order. Fuck you, Bill Gates.
I love you. You gotta do better than that. I love you.